All right. So before I begin here, this is just a quick disclaimer since I am putting this on YouTube. This is me preparing to make remarks at my nephew's funeral in a couple of days. So I don't really care if anyone watches it past this point, other than people I'm sending this to specifically. So yeah, I'm just throwing this disclaimer out there so you guys know you can stop watching right now. Thanks. All right, so here's the actual what I've got worked out right now, and I do apologize because I'm going to be reading directly from a script basically because I just wrote out a few pages of stuff that I just kind of wanted to say. So here is where it goes. Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Young, and I'm George's uncle. And for those of you who may be questioning this, yes, I am that Uncle John. For those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself. I was very involved with George his entire life, regardless of what you may or may not have heard. Growing up, George and I were very close. His mother credits me, for better or worse, for influencing George in the ways of being a nerd. Shannon has said, thanks to me, George loved comic books and Dungeons and Dragons and all kinds of nerdy things. I always remembered that George seemed excited to see me at family get togethers. I remember taking George to see the Avengers way back in 2012. As time passed, life happened. During my divorce, my sister gave me a place to stay, and we ended up being roommates for around 4 years. It was during that time I got George hooked on the TV show Supernatural. As time goes on, though, a young man will develop a personality during their teenage years. And when George came out as homosexual, I was there. And I had a talk with him and told them that I didn't care. That our relationship wouldn't change because of that. He was my nephew and I loved him. Unfortunately, our relationship did change. As a young man goes through their teenage years, they will challenge authority and they will question adults, and a strain will be placed on the relationship. George was no different. See, George and I were very similar. We were both stubborn, we're both bullheaded, and we're both unwilling to give in. And this led to some pretty violent disagreements between the two of us. It was during this time that you would say that I and George tolerated each other at best. But tensions were high, and usually we were one word away from an argument. He used to piss me off so badly at him. I asked Shannon one time if he thought that some of his ideas were there just to make me mad, because that's what it felt like. Eventually, Shannon, George, and Jay had moved out, but there was a lot of bad blood between us. From 2019 to 2022, I don't think George and I said 3 sentences to each other. Then it changed. In November of 2022, I saw him in Walmart and I said hi. I don't know what possessed me to say hi. I just said hi. And George responded, "Oh, hi, Uncle John. How are you?" A couple of days later, Shannon asked me, "Hey, George wanted to know what to get you for Christmas." Considering where we were versus where we had been, you couldn't describe this as anything less than a Christmas miracle. I don't remember what I got George for Christmas, but I can tell you exactly what he got me. He had his mom buy me a bottle of Johnny Walker Black Label 12-year-old Scotch. And he got me another one last year for Christmas too, and I still have both bottles. Over the last couple of years, we had started to mend things. He would text me asking me how to do a presentation for his job. We could talk at family get-togethers. I always remember George loved his mom, his brother, and especially his grandparents. Wednesday last week, I was in training for my job in the Hermitage store, and I saw George's fire engine red hair, and ended up chasing him through the store, yelling, "George, George," until he finally acknowledged me and turned around and said hi. We chatted for a little bit, and I watched him walk away. When I got home that night, I called my parents, as I usually do, and I mentioned that I saw George, and we talked. As Dad and I agreed, it was continuing progress between us. 2 a.m. Friday morning. I wake up to several missed phone calls and a message from Shannon. I called her, and she informed me that you were gone. I hate this. I hate that I'm here right now. I hate that we're all going through this. I hate that our last conversation was just small talk. And I hate that I had ever told you that I was proud of you. There's a lot of things in life that I hate. Georgie, you were never one of them.